So, how's your HiFi health? No, not your HiFi's health. How's your HiFi health? Why are you looking over your shoulder? I'm talking to you. Hi, I'm Bob, and you, my friends, are in the United States of Analog once again, and welcome. Now, I've been doing this for about 6 months now, and it occurred to me that I have never, in all that time, officially introduced myself to you. So again, my name is Bob. I live in beautiful Austin, Texas, USA, and for the last 32 or 33 years, I've lost count. I've been doing a morning show here in Austin, Texas, or as they say across the pond, a brekkie show. That's right. And, I've dabbled in other things like movies and TV and advertising and marketing and things like that. So now I find myself on YouTube because apparently I don't have enough self-loathing in my life. So here I am starting at zero, trying to get all the way to the top, all right? So again, shout out to all my YouTube brothers out there that came before me. I've learned a lot from you, and you guys have inspired me, and I get inspired too by seeing all the places around the world that have been watching this show. I've been keeping a map, so let me know in the comments below where you're from, and I'll put your pin in the map. So appreciate that. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all that stuff because it's very important. The other day I did a video, it had 15,000 views, and I think my DJ mind started spinning. I think, wow, if all 15,000 people had hit the subscribe button, I'd have 15,000 subscribers, and that'd be pretty cool. So, if you could do that, it's not too much trouble. I won't bother you. I won't send you any mail or anything. So, we'll keep it all low key. So today we're going to talk about your HiFi health, and we're going to talk about my HiFi health because it's very important. I don't know about you, but I want to be in this hobby for a while. I want to continue to enjoy the healing properties of music, but we can't heal with music if we're already not well. Why does that happen? We're going to explore that. Who can help us? We're going to explore that. And I'm also going to tell you the number one thing you have to do to be HiFi healthy. And that's going to come very early in this exploration. So don't go anywhere. I think this is going to be fun, and I think you're going to have fun commenting on this. I have those days, and I don't know if you do, where nothing seems to be going right. My equipment doesn't sound good. Sounded good in the showroom. Sounded good when I brought it home and plugged it in. It sounded good yesterday. Doesn't sound good today. Something's wrong. Vinyl doesn't sound good. In fact, you can't even really decide what to play. You're going round and round. What should I play? I don't know. Nothing sounds good. Maybe you live in a cold area and your records are popping and clicking. It's not happening. You know what? Those are signs that your HiFi health is on the decline. And you've got to do something about that. And the first thing you can do is just power down, unplug, step away. Don't chase the sound. Don't chase the music. It's not going to happen. And that's okay. That's okay to have those days. But when it's not working, step away. Do what I do. Pick up a book. Pick up a book about music. Instead of listening to music, pick up a book about music. This is a good one. Bernie Taupin's autobiography, a biography about Mal Evans of the Beatles organization. And I find that when I kind of kick back and get quiet and read a book about music, that pretty soon I start getting interested in listening to music again, like the music that's mentioned in the book, like the Beatles or Elton John or whatever. The book kind of inspires me to get those records out and start listening again. My ears, my brain, my eyes, everything my soul, it starts getting back into the game. So that's one of the first things that I want to tell you. It's not the most important thing, but like anything in life, when it's not going well, just pull back a little bit. Just pull. There'll be another day, where it'll all come together. Okay, we're not going to come from a medical point of view when we talk about HiFi health. We're going to come from a psychological, emotional point of view. Now, early on, I could wait till the end to give you this most important tip, but I'm going to do it right at the beginning because I don't want to lose you. The number one thing that you can do to improve your HiFi health and guarantee that you're going to be in this game for a long, long time and have lots of musical and audio satisfaction is to make your spouse happy. We're talking about spousal approval. We're talking about spousal support. Now, if you are a single person, boy, I envy you. Just go ahead. Go on vacation anytime you want. Buy anything you want. Listen anytime you want. Clothes are optional. It doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. But I hope you stick around because maybe there'll be some tips later on. Right now, I'm talking to you folks that have wives, husbands, boyfriends, girlfriends, cats, dogs, whatever. You need that spousal support and spousal approval. I learned this very early on in my teenage years when I convinced my father first to buy a hi-fi system. It was the 70s. I was in high school and I was getting into hi-fi. My father got on board real quick. In fact, he even threw a reel-to-reel into the deal. But my mom was a little more cautious. And I was out there picking components of different manufacturers. Oh, I've got this, Marantz receiver. We're going to get some Bose speakers or, Sansui amplifier. No, we already got the receiver, right? What do I get? Sansui, whatever. Boy, was I wrong. Because when we brought my mom into the store and started showing her the stuff, she wasn't as convinced that it was right. Because her number one concern was matching the wood on the components and the speakers to the living room furniture, all right? That was something my father and I never considered, and it's very important. We weren't coming home with a stereo unless we could make some compromises. And we did. We found a good SONY quadraphonic SQ system with a reel-to-reel and a cassette deck and a turntable, a quad receiver and everything, and 4 beautiful Sony speakers. So we got away with it, but the spousal approval is so important. In that case, it was my mom's approval, but my dad was writing the check. So I've got some tips for you. I've thought about this a lot, and this is what's working for me in my home. Number one, you can explain to your wife, sit down and get emotional about it and talk to your spouse, your significant other about why this hobby is so important to you. How did it start? What was your childhood like? What were some of your first experiences? Why is this so important to you? I think it's important for your spouse to know that. The other thing that you can do is educate them. When my wife starts moving toward the turntable, I have a natural response to jump in between them. Don't do that. Educate, inform. Show her how it's done. Show him how it's done. Or it goes a lot of different directions here. This isn't boy versus girl, but help that person to understand how it works, how to do it properly, how to cue up a record, how to turn on an amplifier, store the records, clean the record, all that stuff. Bring them into the process. Now, another thing I've started doing when I go to the record store and my wife wants to sit in the car, I come on in, introduce her to the shop owner. When you're looking around, you see that NXS record. Now, you don't want that, but you know that your wife in her past was a big Michael Hutchinson fan, or Hall & Oates, or whatever it is. It may not be on your radar. It may not be something that you dig, but they dig it. Why not buy them a record? Why not bring a record home? Take a chance. Next thing you know, you're sitting down listening to music together. There's just so many things that you can do to include the other people in your house, including your spouse, your kids, and all that. A lot of them aren't going to go for it. You got to try. Because if you don't have that spousal approval, you are in for a world of hurt. Okay? Because a lot of spouses argue over even something as simple as having speakers in the living room. A lot of spouses don't want that. Okay? You want a living room that looks like Stereophile magazine. They want a living room that looks like Architectural Digest. That's not going to work. You've got to compromise. And the way that you can do that is to bring them into the game. Show them components. I mean, components can be like works of art. There are ugly components and there are beautiful components. Ugly speakers, beautiful speakers. Maybe you can find something that will satisfy the design aesthetic of your significant other. You've got to try. Otherwise, you're going to be listening on headphones your whole life, all right? Enough of that. I think I've made my point. That's the most important thing. If you shut this video off now, and I hope you don't, but if you do, hit that subscribe button first and then shut it off. But stick with me because I've got some other tips. Friends. Friends are important. This is a hobby. How cool would it be if you had some friends that also shared your interest? You can go to the record store together, go to the hi-fi store together, talk about components, share components. It would be great. I personally don't have that in my life right now. I know it's very sad, but it's true. I don't have that. But getting a friend involved can go a long way to helping you with your hi-fi health. Find one. They're out there somewhere. I don't know. You know, if you got an extra one, send them my way because none of my friends are even remotely interested in hi-fi or audio or records or turntables or anything like that. I think they're not right in the head, but that's me. Get familiar with a dealer, a hi-fi dealer. This is so important. I know it's very tempting to go online and click a button and order something and it shows up at your door. But where is the sport in that? Now I do it once in a while, but I also have a relationship with a couple dealers in town. So I can go in, talk hi-fi, sample some equipment, sometimes even borrow equipment. Well, you get a relationship going with a hi-fi dealer in your area if you're fortunate enough to have one. All kinds of great things can happen. Trade in, maybe even a discount here and there, you know, for good customers. It's just good. You know, that's their business. It's your hobby, your interest. It's just natural that you come together with a dealer and do that. They're not bad people. They're not out to get you in most cases. They're not trying to upsell you. They want you to enjoy the healing properties of music as much as they enjoy selling it. And in the case of very good hi-fi stores, they've spent a lot of time curating the equipment that they have on hand because they believe in it. You know, it's a person that you can trust generally and a person that can really, really benefit you as you go down the hi-fi road. And then I'm going to add to that a tech. If you can find yourself a tech, somebody you can rely on when stuff breaks down, a tech can be very handy. Now, sometimes the tech comes with the dealer, all right? A lot of dealers have a tech on site. Get to know that person as well, especially if you get involved in turntables. I've set up lots of turntables in my day. I'm not super scientific about it. I'm not super technical about it, but I can make a turntable sound pretty good. I can mount a cartridge. I can align it, you know, with a protractor. And I know about vertical tracking force and vertical tracking angle and all that stuff. You know, if that's not your thing and you just want to plug and play, get yourself a tech, somebody that can set up that turntable for you, inspect that cartridge before it gets mounted. It's so important. And at some point, if you're in this game for a long time, something's going to break down and you're going to need some help. So make nice, you'll be glad you did. Also make nice with your local record stores. Meet the owner of your local independent record stores. Record stores are a great place to go to learn about music, talk to other people about music, and generally just relax. I mean, there's nothing more relaxing to me than flipping through bins of records looking for stuff that I have or newer versions or new masterings of stuff that I already have. Sometimes I'm buying new because I got a little extra jingle jangle in my pocket. Sometimes I'm buying used. It doesn't matter. It's just therapeutic. You know, when I was thinking about this video, I thought about the night that John Lennon was shot. I was watching Monday Night Football like a lot of people were. Howard Cosell in the middle of the game delivered the news. Beatles fan or no Beatles fan, you know, we were all shocked. We were all shocked. And I really didn't know what to do with myself. I was at home alone. And there was only one thing to do, really, and that was to go to the record store. And when I got there, I found out that dozens and dozens and dozens of people thought exactly like I did. It's just, that's where our community is based and centered, at least the analog part of our community. That's our town square. That's where we go to be happy, to be excited, sometimes to grieve, sometimes to get relief, sometimes to, you know, express ourselves or whatever it is. I don't want to get too, you know, new age with this, but that's what I did that night. And it was very comforting. And that's you know, one of the things that record stores can do. So get to know your record stores, get to know your record store owners, the customers in there, talk to people, talk about music, and maybe you'll find something cool. Go to hi-fi shows. It's another way to connect with people. Another way to learn more about the hobby, learn more about equipment, learn more about what's new. And it's also great because you're going to be hanging out with a lot of like-minded people. So you're getting that emotional support. And you can talk about spousal approval. You can talk about some of these other things. HiFi Health. How's your HiFi Health? How you doing? I don't know. I've been to a couple, and it's kind of fun to check into a hotel and just hang out with like-minded people and listen to equipment, basically, you know, free of charge. And, you know, sometimes you get to meet the manufacturers. Sometimes they run great deals on demos and stuff like that. You know, hang out on the last day at a hi-fi show. Sometimes the dealers would rather sell the stuff to you for cheap than to cart it all the way back to wherever, you know, wherever they're from. So deals can be had, friends can be made, and of course, you can watch YouTubers. This is how I got more into audiophile in the last few years, especially during the Pando. I started watching YouTube. I was tired of the news. I didn't want to watch a bunch of bad news on TV and people arguing, and I saw that my kids are on YouTube watching their stuff. I thought, well, you know, audio is kind of my hobby. And I found Cheap Audio Man, Andrew Robinson, the British Audiophile, Melinda Murphy, I think, was on at the time. She does vinyl stuff. And the guy from Just Audio, I can't remember. Sorry, Just Audio Man, if you're watching, I can't remember your name. And, you know, all these people that were speaking my language, right? It was like they were talking right to me. And that's how I got more interested into hi-fi than I've ever been in years. And I was spending a lot more money than I have in years. But that's beside the point. The point is, again, you're engaging with like-minded people that are supporting you. And when you have support in your life, whether it's your physical health, your mental health, your hi-fi health, when you have support and you have the approval of like-minded people, you're going to be a lot healthier. You need a team. You know, just like your physical health, you might have a podiatrist, a urologist, a cardiologist. You need a team when it comes to your hi-fi health. Dealers, record store owners, YouTubers, hi-fi shows, friends, and of course, your spouse. Get them in on the action. My final bit of advice for you is to get a second hobby, preferably outdoors, you know, because this is kind of an indoor sport. Get another hobby for those days where your hi-fi thing isn't working, right? Get another hobby. Could be working out or whatever. I'll tell you what, I just in the last few months, I got involved in e-biking. I got myself an e-bike, and I go out and I ride around and I go downtown, or I get in group rides, and it energizes me. I take music with me. I strapped a Bluetooth speaker onto my Super 73 bike, and you know, here's a picture of me going through some tunnels underneath the streets of Austin, Texas. But yeah, find yourself something else to do when you're not doing audio or when the audio thing's not working. It's been beneficial to me. That's my advice to you. Spousal approval, get a team, find another hobby, and ultimately, if it's not working, just step away for a day or two. Give your ears a break, give your brain, give it a break, and you'll come back. Your equipment will sound good again, I promise. And you know what would be good again? If you came back to the United States of Analog. I want to thank you for listening to my diatribe. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I do this for you. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to tell me where you're from, and we'll see you next time on the United States of Analog. Okay, Bernie, I guess we're going to find out what the algorithms are going to think when we're not reviewing a piece of equipment. We're just talking from the heart. You have beautiful eyes, Bernie.